It's become kind of a sport in Israel to note all of the inconsistencies and contradictions when it comes to the loosening of coronavirus rules. Here's just a partial list. IKEA was allowed to reopen way back in early April. Hundreds of people were in line, jamming the aisles of the store, and yet IKEA was open when malls and restaurants had to stay closed. Lottery booths were allowed to reopen, but falafel stands had to remain closed. Stalls were outlawed in open-air markets, yet just inches away, food shops and stores were allowed to reopen. For a long time, you had to stay within 100 meters from your home unless it was for exercise, where you could go up to 500 meters away. But what counts as exercise? Police were giving tickets to some people walking in parks. Maybe they weren't walking briskly enough. And when malls did reopen, you could technically not go to a mall that was more than 500 meters away for a while there. There was overlapping restrictions with freedom to shop and restriction on movement. You could exercise on the beach, but not on the sand. You could swim, but not float in the water. And when it came to paddleboarding and windsurfing, it really all depended on the officer who was watching you with the ticket pad. The number of buses, the number of passengers on those buses was restricted. That caused massive lines of people at terminals and bus stations. Buses were around, but intercity trains were not. They're still suspended right now. Schools are back in session. Kids have to wear masks unless it's really hot out with a heat wave. Then they don't have to. All that brings us to now. We have cinemas and live theaters back open. And so for the first time in months, right now you can have hundreds of concert goers jamming out together, singing together, and yet no dancing. It is banned. Everyone must remain seated during live shows right now. It is easy to pile on. Officials have acknowledged mistakes and that things could have gone more smoothly, but for now, despite what the song says, in Israel, you can't dance if you want to and leave your friends behind. And this time of Corona, there is no safety dance.